Welcome to Real or Fake, where we dive into the pressing issues of our time. With me, of course, Real, and today we are tackling a topic about cancel culture, especially in Indonesia. To talk about this, I have my friend here with me. She is my classmate in college. Here she is, Goya. Hi, Goya.
Hi, Rial. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And how about you?
I'm good too. I'm excited to be here and talk about this topic. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Now, together with us, peeling back the layers,
Discover
discovers what's
what's real
real
and
and what's
what's
just
just
a
a
fake.
fake it.
Okay, let's start by defining cancel culture for our listeners who might not be entirely familiar with it. Cancel culture has gained significant attention worldwide, but how does it manifest in different cultures? Cancel cultures involves public backlash against individuals, often on social media, for actions or statements deemed unacceptable. In Indonesia, this has been particularly prominent in the entertainment industry. Okay, Goya. I want to know your opinion about this culture. So, what do you think about cancel culture and how does it happen?
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna make it simple. So, cancel culture refers to the practice of publicly calling out someone, usually a public figure or an organization, and because they've said or done something that many people find offensive or harmful. And in Indonesia, this is mostly happening through social media, where people share their opinions quickly, demanding accountability or sometimes even punishment.
Uh-huh.
And as I know, cancel culture initially emerged in the Black Twitter community in midst of 2010, and this phenomenon developed into a form of black collective protests against issues such as sexual harassment, racism, and homophobia in the digital area. And cancel culture has become a kind of unwritten rule for setting formal standards in public spaces. And the goal is to force public figures to be more careful in their action and words.
Right. And in Indonesia, we've seen examples of this, like when celebrities or influencers face backlash for controversial actions or statements. And I think it's important, right?
Yeah.
Because, like you said before, it demanding accountability. So I think cancel culture serves as a vital mechanism for holding individuals accountable for their actions, particularly when those actions perpetuate harm or injustice.
Mhm.
Like in Korea, Sungri from Big Bang.
Yeah, he's a K-pop idol, right?
Yeah, that one. So he got canceled because he's controversial about
Yeah.
prostitution and other criminal activities,
Yes.
and because of this, he lost his career. I mean, he didn't control his accountable, and that causing him to lose his career.
Hmm.
So, how about you? From your perspective, is it important or maybe it's not?
Yes, I think I found it very important for especially our country, Indonesia. But the thing is, I found the differences happening in Indonesia. For example, the media, especially TV, they prioritize profits over the principle of accountability. Controversial figures are actually considered profitable. For example, the case of Saipul Jamil,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
artist, where he is have a case with sexual harassment, as
yeah.
I know, and he's like still give got a space to appear in the media after the harassment
Yeah,
cases.
yeah. As I know, he was welcome when he came out of prison.
Yeah.
So, cancel culture can bring about accountability. Goya, what are some of the positive outcomes of cancel culture, especially in Indonesia?
Uh, One key positive outcome is that cancel culture shines a light on social justice issues that are often ignored. For example, when people are called out for racist, sexist, or abusive behavior, it brings those issues to the forefront. In a country like Indonesia, where social issues may sometimes go unnoticed, and cancel culture can help smart, much needed conversation. Public figures are held accountable for their action, and it encourages a shift in a public attitudes towards certain topics.
So it helps people speak up for what's right and forces those in power to recognize their actions and the harm they causes, right?
Exactly. It's like an opportunity for marginalized voices to be heard and to put pressures on the people to act responsibly.
Right. In a way, it could lead to positive social change, like how movements against harassment or corruption get stronger.
Yeah.
On the flip side, cancel culture can also be harmful. One of the biggest problem is that it often becomes a trial by social media. People can be
Mm,
judged based on partial information or
yeah.
rumors.
Yeah.
There's no room for understanding or forgiving mistakes, and the consequences can be extreme, careers or reputation ruined with just one mistake.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. In Indonesia, we see how quickly social media can escalate a situation. Even if someone apologizes or explain their action, it's not always enough because there's this mob mentality can sometimes take over, and the focus shifts away from learning and growth to simply punishing the person, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the emotional harm it causes the both the person being cancelled and their families is significant.
Yeah.
And it's not just a public shaming. It can affect someone's mental health as well.
Mental, yeah.
So, as I said before, one of the biggest problems is that it often becomes a trial by social media. So, from that, I think social media like Instagram and Twitter have big role in this culture, right?
Mm.
So, how about you? Do you think social media has contributed in the rise of cancel culture in Indonesia?
Well, contributing in the rise of cancel culture in Indonesia, I think they didn't contribute at all, especially to rising this cancel culture, because as we all know, Indonesian citizens they mostly enjoy drama and
Yeah,
gossip more than the factual news
yeah,
itself,
yeah.
because the popularity for of gossip is going through a lot because of this. There's a account. She is like a popular account,
Uh,
gossip account.
Lambetura, right?
Yeah, called Lambetura.
Yeah.
That's the perfect example of how the quality of Indonesian netizen humans resorts can be measured by how they enjoy drama or gossip more than the factual news from credible media.
Yes, that's right. And netizen in Indonesia, instead of they doing cancel itself and move on about
Mm.
the case, they will discussing and discussing about it and make it more bigger.
Yeah, and the bigger that we talk is not like a solving problem, but it's just make the gossip more bigger instead of find the answer for the case or the issues.
Yeah, and okay, so let's bring this in the cultural aspect of it. In Indonesia, we have a strong value of forgiveness and maintaining community
Yeah,
harmony. So, how does this culture aspect affect how cancel culture plays out here from your perspective?
that's a great question. In Indonesia, there's a deep cultural emphasis on reconciliation. Many Indonesians are willing to forgive, especially when the person apologizes and shows remorse. This is influenced by our religions and traditional values, like, for example, in Islam,
Mhm.
where forgiveness and second chance are very important. So when someone like public figure is called out, people might be more open to moving on after an apology rather than continuing to punish them.
Right. And I think this is where we can see the difference between
Mm,
cancel culture in
yeah,
Indonesia
yeah.
versus other countries like in the West. Here in Indonesia, it feels more like a change for someone to redeem themselves rather
Mm-mm,
than
yes.
permanently be cast aside. It tends to be more about healing than about punishment, setting it apart from the harsher approaches observed in the West.
Exactly. The collective mindset in Indonesia leans towards harmony and healing. So it's not about keeping someone cancelled forever, but rather finding ways to restore balance and move forward.
Okay, okay. Mm, I think this has been such an insightful conversation. So, based on everything we've discussed today, what's your overall view on cancel culture in Indonesia?
Okay, I think what I can say is cancel culture in Indonesia has its pros and cons.
Uh-huh.
It can serve as a tool for social change, making sure issues are addressed and people are held accountable. But however, it is crucial that we balance accountability with compassion, understanding, and the ability for people to learn from their mistakes. We need to think about the long-term impact, not just short-term outrage. And yeah, the accountability is the key, but we also need to leave room for growth and forgiveness.
Exactly. So, in the end, cancel culture can be both effective and
Mm,
harmful depending on
yeah.
how it's used. It's all about
Mm,
finding that balance between
mm-mm.
justice and empathy.
Empathy, yeah.
So, this conversation answered the question, is it real or fake that cancel culture in Indonesia has been implemented well? I think you guys, as listeners, are the ones who will make the choice. Don't forget to share it on comment. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Goya, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, and thank you to for our listeners for tuning with us. We'll catch you in the next episode of Real or Fake. Bye.
Bye.